ਲੋ ਅੱਜ ਸਾਡੇ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਜਿਹੜਾ 24ਵਾਂ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਨਾ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਸ਼ਹਿਰ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਸ਼ਮੂਲੀਅਤ ਕਰਨ ਲਈ ਰੂਬੀ ਸਹੋਤਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਐਮਪੀ ਨੇ ਬਰੈਂਪਟਨ ਤੋਂ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਅੱਜ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਪਹੁੰਚੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਔਰ ਨਾਲ ਦੀ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਮਿਨਿਸਟਰ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੋਂ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਤੋਂ ਰੈਂਡੀ ਬੌਸਨੋ ਹੋਰੀ, ਉਹ ਵੀ ਆਏ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ। ਵੈਲਕਮ ਟੂ ਬੋਥ ਆਫ ਯੂ ਗਾਇਜ਼ ਟੂ ਐਡਮਿੰਟਨ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ।
ਸਤਿ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ, ਹੈਪੀ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ।
ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ।
ਅੱਜ ਦਾ ਇਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੈ, ਮੈਨੂੰ ਪਤਾ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡੀਆਂ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਗਿਣਤੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ, ਵੈਨਕੂਵਰ 'ਚ ਵੀ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ?
ਦੇਖੋ, ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧੀਆ ਲੱਗ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ। ਅਸੀਂ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ 40 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਮਨਾ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ। ਐਂਡ ਆਈ ਰਿਮੈਂਬਰ ਬੀਇੰਗ ਅ ਰੀਲੀ ਯੰਗ ਕਿਡ ਵੋਲੰਟੀਅਰਿੰਗ। ਮੇਰੇ ਡੈਡੀ ਜੀ ਜੋ ਹੈਗੇ ਨੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਆਰਗੇਨਾਈਜੇਸ਼ਨ ਕਮੇਟੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੈਗੇ ਟੋਰਾਂਟੋ ਵਾਲੇ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੇ। ਸੋ ਇਟਸ ਸੋ ਨਾਈਸ ਟੂ ਸੀ ਵੀ ਇੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਵੀ 24ਵਾਂ 24 years for you here as well, and it's nice to see the community growing.
Randy, are you here for the first time or you have been here before?
Many times, in the rain, in the sun, almost the snow.
Oh, I remember now. Now I remember when Harjeet Sajjan was here. Yes.
With Minister Sohi at the time.
Yes.
And last year we wanted to come, but then we had canceled because of the smoke. Right, we had to cancel because of the smoke last year. And then, so Ruby and I made a deal that I was going to go, she was going to come, and then I would do English, she would do Punjabi. And I would learn more words along the way. So that's my plan.
So you're following Gene Zwodeski?
Absolutely. I learned that I'm Ministry jobs. That's what I learned. I'm jobs Mantri. Mantri jobs. Mantri jobs.
Yes.
So how things going in the cabinet these days?
Good. Look, we're the way that we presented the budget this year, where we had a whole month identifying what was in the budget before the budget happened, really helped us to talk about the budget in a way that makes sense to people. We're rolling out dental care, we're rolling out pharmacare, we're going to build more housing for everybody, and we're going to make sure that our immigration is predictable, stable, and so that people can understand exactly how we're going to grow this country.
Well, all these things looks pretty good and sounds pretty good too, but we all know that we are having problems. People don't find a place to live. And although I know the government has announced some plans giving money to certain cities to provide their, accommodation, but still we have a big problem on our hand. How are you going to solve that?
Where it's an all hands on deck kind of approach, and it means all orders of government have to work together, and so does the private sector. So even before this budget, we took the GST off of purpose-built rental units, which is going to create about 100,000 units just alone. We also put $20 billion into the Canada Mortgage and Housing Corporation Loan Fund. Why does that matter? Because when developers go to CMHC to get loans to build, it means that they can build the apartments for even less money, and that savings gets passed to Edmontonians and Canadians. We're also pushing the provinces to do more. Have you ever heard the provinces talk about housing so much? No, not since we've been pushing them, because we know that we want to grow, and we're going to make sure that together we build 4 million homes in the next 10 years.
Well, on the immigration front, I see some changes Mr. Miller has brought in.
Yes.
Do you think we still have to go a little further down that way, or is it okay to bring in more people? Because, there's a lot of talk going on right now if you read the newspapers about these things.
So we're going to stabilize the economic stream of immigration to 500,000 people per year in 2025. That's already been announced. We're going to reduce the number of temporary residents. So that includes international students. That includes people that come in on the refugee stream and other streams. That's going to go from about 6.5% down to 5% over the next 3 to 4 years. So that will also see fewer people come in. But look, here's the data from the Minister of Jobs. Okay, monthly jobs. This is what is it? It is that 100% of our job growth in this country is now reliant on newcomers, and by 2032 the entire population growth of the country will rely on newcomers. So we've got to get the balance right, and we're going to do that. And for now, I think the changes that we've been made will be effective, and I've already made some changes on the temporary foreign worker side, and I'm watching those changes carefully too.
The other point I hear from the young people who are working, they said they have been putting in too much into the taxes, and they think they are being punished for work, and they say government keep on giving money, freebies to a lot of people. I don't want to name it, but they say that. What do you have to tell them?
So I look at the data all the time as Minister of Jobs. And now the Gen Z and millennials out there make 50% of our workforce. And so the reason that you've seen us take some really bold moves in the budget with removing federal student loan interest and making sure that the federal student loans continue is we want Gen Zs and millennials to know that we have their back. And when it comes to making sure that, refugees or newcomers get the ability to set up here, we provide some supports for 1 year. That's the kind of country we are. Everybody who's not a First Nations person is an immigrant or is a part of a family that was immigrants at some point. I'm old enough to remember when the Vietnamese people came over. I'm old enough to know when the Somali people came over. And then our government made sure that we brought in Syrian refugees. Now we have Ukrainian refugees. But the stable immigration process will continue to support our businesses. And when it comes to paying taxes, we make sure that people get value for taxes. And look, both Ruby and I and everybody else are watching interest rates. And we made sure that our budget was very carefully constructed so that the Bank of Canada has everything it needs to reduce rates, if not in June, hopefully by July.
See, I don't know. Some people think, when they came here, say 50, 60 years ago, government was not supporting them or giving them the money. They just allowed them to work here. So why don't you ask those people, whosoever comes, that they should work and they get money?
Maybe if I could say, एक गलत हैगी है, काफ़ी misinformation spread होंदी हैगी है. So as Randy is saying about Vietnamese, anyone that is a government-sponsored refugee, ਉਹ हमेशा ही ਭਾਵੇਂ ਜਦੋਂ Czechoslovakians ਆਏ ਸੀ ਜਾਂ Kenya ਤੋਂ Uganda ਤੋਂ ਲੋਕ ਆਏ ਸੀ, ਉਹ ਹਮੇਸ਼ਾ ਹੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਹੈਲਪ ਕਰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ 1 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਲਈ. 1 ਸਾਲ ਦੇ ਲਈ settle ਹੋਣ ਲਈ. But what we have now is we also have a migration issue. ਜੋ asylum seekers border ਤੇ ਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ, the government is not responsible. They get work permits. ਉਹ ਕੰਮ ਕਰਦੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ. And this is also something that ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ perspective ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈਣਾ ਪੈਣਾ ਹੈਗਾ. ਇਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ. This is not happening in Canada because we have a liberal government. That is not true. I think people need to understand ਵੀ ਇਹ ਅਮਰੀਕਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇਹ ਇੰਗਲੈਂਡ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਹੈ ਕੰਜ਼ਰਵੇਟਿਵ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਦੇ ਥੱਲੇ. We have 200 million people that are migrating from country to country. So a Canada problem, unique problem nahi haiga. We are tackling it just like other countries, but ਇਹ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਸਰਕਾਰ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ, ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦਾ ਹੱਥ ਫੜ ਰਹੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ. We're trying to come up with solutions so that ਲੋਕਾਂ ਨੂੰ support ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ, ਆਪਣੇ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ support ਕੀਤਾ ਜਾਵੇ. Randy was talking about different housing programs. I'd like to also say ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ first time home buyers ਲਈ amortization period 30 months ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹੈਗੇ ਆ so that they can get into their first home. So there's lots of different ways we are trying to help support people. Grocery prices have gone up in the US as well. Inflation and interest rates have gone up all around the world. So this is a global issue, but we have been working very hard. ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਪੈਂਡੈਮਿਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਿਜ਼ਨੈਸਿਸ ਦਾ ਸਾਥ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ, ਇੰਡੀਵਿਜੂਅਲਸ ਦਾ ਸਾਥ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਵੀ ਉਹ ਡੁੱਬ ਨਾ ਜਾਣ ਉਸ ਟਾਈਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਬੈਂਕਰਪਸੀਜ਼ ਨਾ ਹੋ ਜਾਣ. We helped them survive that storm, and we're going to continue to help support people survive this time period as well. So I think people will want a government that supports them because all countries are facing these issues right now.
On the people coming from the borders, United States shut down their border and they tell everybody this one is open, go to the north.
They have much more people. So New York City alone has over 100,000 asylum seekers in their city, just in New York. And we have renegotiated our third safe country agreement with the US. So ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ asylum US ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ apply ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ US 'ਚ ਹੀ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ. ਉਹ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਆ ਸਕਦੇ ਜੇ ਉੱਥੇ ਲੈਂਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ. ਜਿਹੜੇ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਲੈਂਡ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ, vice versa. So we have really decreased the amount that are now looking for, country shopping. So we have taken measures. In measures ਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ time ਲੱਗਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ. So we're asking people to really inform themselves about the issues because social media ਤੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ misinformation ਅੱਜ ਕੱਲ੍ਹ ਘੁੰਮਦਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ. So I would really advise people to really look up on government websites about what we're doing, to ask their member of parliament, to ask Randy, because, I was just with a seniors group the other day, and they're looking at investing their money into these things that are fraud, right? Like they're looking at all these things that they're getting online. So you have to be very careful what you're reading online. These issues are not unique to Canada. That's just what I want to say.
Well, we are at the Nagar Kirtan. I think we got into the wrong topic here.
What would you like to talk about now?
let's have something to eat.
Well, look, we've had samosa, we've had ice cream, we've had cha, we've had chai,
Gajrilla.
we had gajrilla, like so much good food, so many good people.
Yes.
Look, this is one of the best in the country. It's best in Western Canada, 25 years strong. Thank you to the entire Sikh
Yes.
community for this amazing Visaki. Thank you for being such a clear host.
Yes.
You ask the tough questions, we give good answers,
Thank
and
you.
then we'll always be coming back to your show.
But
Thank you.
Visaki is all about ਸਰਬੱਤ ਦੇ ਭਲੇ ਲਈ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਇਹਨੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਦੇ ਸਟਾਲ ਲੱਗੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ
ਜੀ।
ਕੋਈ ਵੀ ਆ ਸਕਦਾ ਕਿਸੇ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਿਆ ਨਹੀਂ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਕਿਹੜੇ ਮੁਲਕ ਤੋਂ ਆਏ ਹੋ ਕੀ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜਾਤ ਹੈਗੀ ਆ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਹੀ ਆਪਣਾ ਮੁਲਕ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਐਂਡ ਸੋ ਆਈ ਥਿੰਕ Sikhs are really well suited to be a good integrated part of Canadian society and ਮੈਂ ਸਾਰੀ Sikh community ਨੂੰ ਵਿਸਾਖੀ ਦੀਆਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਧਾਈ ਦੇਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੀ
ਬਹੁਤ ਬਹੁਤ ਧੰਨਵਾਦ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ
Happy Visakhi.
Happy Visaki, everyone.
Happy Visakhi